Hello everyone, Nick here. Today I was going to show you how to set up your own DIY CO2, and I'll actually be repriming it on my 10 gallon over there. So without further ado, I have here citric acid and baking soda. The citric acid I ordered on Amazon at the same time I ordered the kit for the CO2 itself. Baking soda you can find just about anywhere, any grocery store, dollar store, whatever. That is a scale. You can pretty much find that anywhere as well. That wasn't very hard. And then some styrofoam bowls, a couple of 2-liter bottles, and a funnel to make things easy. So, with the scale, I start with the bottles. On the bottles you can see A and B, those correspond with the caps themselves and which one's going to attach where and what's going to do what in the process. With the citric acid is 200 grams, same with the baking soda, 200 grams, and 200 milliliters of water with the baking soda, and 600 milliliters of water. I wrote it on there just so I don't forget, but you can also draw a line with a Sharpie, and that makes it easy just to fill it up with the water. But you'll most likely have to measure out, the citric acid and baking soda every time, so there's really no mark you can put that easily. The styrofoam bowl, you can look here on the scale, set 0. Styrofoam bowl weighs, about 5, usually 5 milligrams. I guess 4. So you tare it to that. And this one here is the citric acid. And this one here is the baking soda. So like I said, the bowls usually weigh 5 milligrams. I guess that one's got a little less styrofoam. I don't know. But these bowls each weighed 5 each, so that's why you see 201, 200 milligrams each, 5 for the bowl. So, the water in the bottle is just tap water, nothing special. I usually use it a little bit warmer than it comes out of the tap. That way it dissolves everything a little bit easier. So, let me show you guys. Alright, and we're back. Anyways, this is what it's going to look like after you mix everything. The baking soda is just going to settle to the bottom. It might stay a little bit cloudy, but it's not going to mix in with the water. The citric acid should dissolve completely. You got nothing left on the bottom of the bottle there. Should be crystal clear. So, you can see where the lines are at. Just to give you an example. It's that much more full. A, citric acid. B, baking soda. A is going to have the gauge on it, and B is going to have the connecting tube with what goes to the tank and the valve. What you're going to do from here is open the valve, or I'm sorry, close the valve, and squeeze the citric acid into the baking soda. And you're going to want to keep doing that until your hand gets tired, apparently. Until you start to build pressure, just a tiny bit, on the gauge there. You might have to do it for a while. Once it starts to build up enough, you can open the valve, which normally sucks the solution across there, but you have to have enough pressure, I guess. It'll actually pull it when you open the valve, and it lets the gas out of B. It'll pull liquid from A into B and continue the reaction. So, you can also shake B Mix it up a little bit. Again, you might have to have more pressure, but that also speeds up the reaction in B, so you can create more pressure between the two. So let me mix this up a little more and see if I can't show you guys. Okay, so I finally got it up to pressure. Just had to keep squeezing it a little more, or keep squeezing it a little more, keep squeezing it. Eventually get enough of it over there to bubble enough to bounce back on the pressure and equal everything out. I forgot to mention, you should have that T open, which is another good use for this, so that you don't just blow up your tank with CO2. Obviously that's bad. So you want to have that open. Open up this T. You'll hear it start to hiss out. Watch that hose. As soon as it touches that other cap, you want to let it go. And there you have it. So after you squeeze enough of it in there, you can do that, and that's the easiest way to build pressure. So you want it to stay in the green. You don't want to prime it too much and get it up to the top. You want to keep it somewhere in the middle. What I normally do is keep it closer to the 1, then I like to keep it closer to the 2. That way it's got room for it to increase throughout the day. And that way we don't run into any spikes or come home to any CO2 poisoned fish. Alright, and now that we have everything put away over there and back in its nice little space between shelves, it's time to actually get the bubbles going to the proper count. Back there you'll see the container, which is actually suction cupped outside the back of the tank. It's got one little bubble hanging off that nozzle. Right now the valve there is turned off, so we'll have to turn it back on to start the airflow here, the CO2 flow rather. Watch out, bud. And that's going to tell you how much CO2 you're actually letting into the tank. You want, for my tank, at least 10 gallon. Somebody recommended one bubble a second. So you want 1,000, 1,000. You might have to play with it for a second to get it to a comfy rate for you. I usually like to set it a little bit under. That way, again, it's got room to increase throughout the day. If the pressure goes up in the bottle, then obviously you're going to get more bubbles per second. Anyways, you guys get the idea. Now, again, when you close the valve at night, you're going to have to reset this every morning and reset the bubble count, if you will. Because obviously you don't want to let it run overnight when the plants aren't using it. I always have my air stone in again throughout the day in case it has an increase. And that way nobody gets hurt. So you can see the diffuser there in the back, hooked up with a U-fitting at the top there, is now letting the bubbles. So the kit there, both the bubble counter and the diffuser are all on Amazon at a fairly good price, and again you can get the citric acid too. Alright, thanks for watching everybody, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.